Hello. Hi. So yesterday we were in the exposure data set. Okay. So just let me open this one. Specification for SDTM. Okay, so bar is here. So I'm gonna remove this step now. So I'm gonna continue from here. You can do like one more step if you want. It's up to you. Okay, so we have completed up to EX dose frequency. Okay, so we have done with EX dose form and frequencies. Okay, let me check what else we have. So up to here we have done. Okay, and the intended dose regimen. So we don't have that information, and obviously this is a permissible variable. So we don't have that information in the raw data set. And you can also check in the CRF. Where I get these. SDTM macros and so you take that variable name. So this is CX. I don't have any information for that one. So basically this is related to this implementation guideline. Just me open the implementation guideline. So here, so this one, right? Yes, not this one. So intended dose regimen. So this is intended schedule if you have regimen for the intervention, for example, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So since our study is only we have one drug, so and is one dose only, 10 mg. So we don't have any kind of intended dose resume. So resume. So that's why we don't have that information. So even this is a permissible variable. So we're not keeping this information. Sorry, this one. Where's that one? This one. So test a description of intended schedule or regimen for the interventions. I'm not sure what exactly this is for. Okay, so anyway, we continue with this one because since it's already grayed out here in the specification, so we don't use this one. And this is the route of administration, and we have a control terminology, and this is oral as per the control terminology. So you can check the control terminology, what it's talking about here. Go here in the submission. Check for the filter.
Ali, where we use this Medra terminology and all? In which
Medra you use in the AE dataset.
AE dataset as a control terminology, right?
What do you mean control terminology?
Medra we will use for this standards only, na? Code listing.
Yeah, Medra is not coming from the. It's not coming from the control terminology. It's coming from Medra dictionary, which is usually the medical coder. there is a section, those people they allotted um, the coding for them, because so we have some associate term and preferred terms for system, like system organ class and preferred term, high level term code, HLD, HLT. So all those ones I will explain in AE dataset. So
Okay then. Yeah.
those hierarchy given by the medical coding people, not the control terminology.
Okay.
Okay, so when we discuss in AE, I can give a brief discussion for that.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
So here, as per the control terminology, so if you have oral, so you have to keep it as a uppercase. Okay, so the so this is the one, the root, which is the variable, and this is a character format. So just let's do this one. Okay, data ex2 set. Okay, let me check. Do we have ex1 or? Okay. We can continue from this one here only, because why do we have to keep Unix subjected and then merge after? But you understand, right? You
Yeah.
understand the concept, so it's easier.
This is
So we can
better.
continue. Okay, so this one we don't have it. Okay, so as per control terminology, we have to use uppercase, case off, strip off, and
Root. Root.
yeah, you need to get the exact variable name. Okay, like that. So the next one, so this one is done. So ex lot, ex loc, ex lat, ex dir. So these all related to the label. Okay, this is the label information for the particular drug. So what is the lot number and what is the location of the dose administration, laterality, directionality. So you get from everything, like from the label. So right now we don't have that information, and this is a permissible. Usually when you have in real time, if you have permissible also, if they have the information in the raw data set, you will get programming the comments or derivation here. Since this is only for the practice purpose, so that's why even if you don't have it, so I'm just explaining like that. Okay. So I already know that in the raw data set we don't have this information. That's why I graded in like so in the first way, like before I start the classes. So I grade out the specification, whatever the information we have it, I kept it like that, and the remaining one I grade out. But we took all the variables from the implementation guidelines, right? So you have to know if it is a permissible variable. Okay, you can have a choice that if there is no information available in your raw data set, you can easily remove it. Okay, so if you have information and there is a permissible, yeah, you have to include that. Must and should have to be included. Okay. Okay, so the next one, because the lot, LOC, LAT, DIR, directionalities, all those information you get from the label. So if you want, I can check it, double check it. Even in the raw data set also, we don't have that information. So we have those date and TP, those study ID and those ones. So we don't have that information. Okay, I'm just gonna skip that one right now. Okay, so the next one is EX fast. Okay, this is related to fasting condition. Okay, so we have to map it with what set to Y, because it was fasting study as a protocol. Okay. So we have a control terminology for this one also. So C6742. So I copy this part. So I go there. So copy there. Select only this part. Okay, you can see here in the control terminology also, I mean, in the implementation guidelines also, they mention here. If it is EX fast, you can see the control terminology N and Y. So what does that mean? If it is N and Y, which means your response would be like either Y or either no. Okay. So you can see in the control terminology, if you have a no, you have to in the submission as N. If you have not applicable in the submission, you have to put NA. If it is unknown, you have to put U. So only the initial digit, okay? Only in the initial digit, you have to take it. So only for the not available, you have to give it like not available. And the remaining yes or no. So obviously you have to keep Y or no. Okay, you understand, right?
Yeah.
So here the mapping variable is fast because we are mapping with EX fast, right? So this is the mapping variable and we have 3 digits and we need to cut either you can just if it is fast equal to yes, you can put it as EX fast equal to Y. Or you can just suggest here, you can use only the first part, take it as a first part. Okay. So it's up to you how you want to do it. Okay. So this is already in the character variable.
Alia,
Yeah.
it's always Sebastian is better, right? Because say if some people for the fast, if there is no situation.
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm sorry. What second? So you can use the substitute function, which is you can also use. There is another function. I don't remember at the moment, but you can also do if then else statement also. Okay, like for example, if
Yeah, if fast is S, then put Y.
yes, then ex fast equal to y, or
Yeah,
else
or
no,
else.
you can do like that also. But simple, you can do so ex fast because we have only s here, right? In the so since you know it, so I can so all of them is s condition because this study the drug administration has been done like after 10 hours of fasting. So the patient has to be in a fasting condition, then only the drug was administered. So for that reason, all the subjects should have to be in the fasting, and everyone is yes. Otherwise, they won't administer. They don't like they don't do it for drug administration. So obviously, this must and should have to be in the fasting. So that's why they put yes. So you can do like that. If you have a no, you can use if then else statement. So how would you do that one right now? So you can use substier function. Okay. You can use uppercase because we need to convert in the uppercase format. Okay, then strip off and you take the variable. Okay, so we close it. So you close with this one, you close again this one. Then you close, no, you don't close because this is uppercase. So we need first position and one character, okay? Like that, it works.
I don't.
I'm sorry?
No, you don't need double. You put extra bracket there.
Yeah, for this one is this one, and this one for this one, and this one for this one.
Oh, okay.
Clear? Okay, this one is done. So ex fast is done. So the remaining two variables are permissible variables. Reason for those adjustment and epoch. Okay. Epoch variable why we have kept should be in a green color. Because there is a comment here. As per the collected, we need to assign as per DT. Okay. Let me check if we have any variable. Okay, so we don't have that information. Okay. So I have explained it before also, epoch and also the element. Okay, so these two are different. So we call as group of elements. Group of elements. Either you have screening, uh, running, or treatment, or follow-up. Okay, some projects they have only screening and treatment and follow-up. Some project they have running also, and some subject also, sorry, some clinical project we also have like washout period. So in our clinical project, the one we are doing right now, we have washout and follow-up and the treatment and the screening. Okay, so these are the four elements we have it, and it's a group of these elements we call as a epoch. Okay, the element is this individual, like screening. Screening is one of the element. Okay, running is one of the element. Treatment is one of the element. Okay, so here the epoch represent in the exposure data set. Okay, because exposure related to the drug information, right? So the treatment information. So here the element is treatment. So for the epoch, we have to keep it as a treatment. So if you go to the control terminology, one second. So I cleared this one. Okay, so here is the epoch is we have a different like blinded treatment. So that one we don't have that information because this is open label. So we have follow-up, long-term follow-up, open label treatment, screening, treatment, and washout. Okay. So these are the elements. These are the elements for the particular epoch. So in the exposure data set, we need to give this information, treatment, because the treatment related information. Okay. So epoch equal to just simply put treatment. Okay. So the next variable would be, so this one is done. So EX STDTC, EX ENTTC. Okay, and do you know how do we create the RFX STDTC, RFX ENTTC? Same thing. Okay, concatenate date and time. So we have to concatenate with the date and time. So the first one is EX STDTC. So the EX STDTC. So this one. Okay, here I'm gonna close this one after here because it's gonna be too much. So data EX2 set. So I can keep back to Unix subject ID. Maybe you can use EX1 directly. Why do we have to use EX1? So like that, all those variable will come, and also the whatever you're going to variable will come, it will be attached to it, that one. Okay. So we don't need to create a Unix subject ID. So EXSTDTC, which is concatenated. So this one is not properly mapped because this is only for explanation, so it is not mapped. So all this exposure related information you get from here. So we have a DCDT and DCDTM timing. So these are the information we need to map the exposure data, exposure start time. So what is the difference between EXSTDTC and RFXTDTC? So the both are like date and time, start of the date, and this one also exposure. So So exposure treatment, also I'll explain here 1 second. So this in the interview question they will ask you. So what is the difference between RF SDDTC and EX SDDTC? Okay. So RF SDDTC is a reference, like a date when the treatment was started, and this is the date when the treatment is also started. And there is a difference between these two. This is a reference. Okay, this is a reference. So sometimes some projects, some clinical project, the both dates are same. Okay, so if you open the DM data set, open the DM data set. So here you can see I mapped with the DSDTN and DSDTM, and this is the same date I'm going to map for the EXSTDTC. But for our project, it will be the same for both of them. So what happened in some cases, some projects, the clients wants to introduce some dummy treatment. Okay, dummy treatment, initial one. So so this is not the the drug they are looking for it, and this is kind of some kind of dummy treatment. And the date the treatment was started, this treatment was started, is the reference for the particular subject. Okay, this is RFXSTDTC. Okay, and the actual, the real treatment, that is the date for EXSTDTC. So you can find the difference. Okay, this is a reference point. This is a reference point, and this is the actual the treatment was given. But in our case, in our clinical project, so both case will be the same, because we don't have any kind of dummy treatment. Okay, so we directly administer. So this is the same, the date of the treatment started, and this is also the date of the treatment started. Okay, so hope you understand. So here we're gonna go the map the same thing, the reference, so the same thing. Just copy. Okay, so this is STDTC and ENDTC. So the day the subject was completed his treatment. Okay, this is the exposure and end date and time. So this is all the same thing, like how we did with the. Okay, let me check the EXSTDTC. How does it look? So this is the date I mapped with EXSTDTC. There is a small tricky here, because the EXSTDTC and EXENDTC will be the same, because our dose form is tablet. Okay, so the tablet, how much time? Usually you calculate in a minutes. Okay, in a minutes for like period 1. No, in a minutes, right? Because you take the tablet directly. So it's gonna be the same date. So the EXENDTC, like sometimes what happened in the EXENDTC, 1 second. EXENDTC. Sometimes what happens, some project we have intervals of the treatment. Okay, treatment, like for example 1 hour, or 2 hour, 3 hours. Okay, so this is the EXSTDTC and this is EXENDTC for particular clinical project. But what our project, like we have only period 1 and period 1 and period 2, right? So here you're giving like test drug, and here you're giving like reference drug. So it's going to be only one treatment, and it is at a time. Okay, at the time you get that information. So if you, like for example, if the patient is taking the medication, whatever the patient is taking the medication, that date will be the same as EXENDTC, because you're taking just tablet, there is no intervals here. So in this case, EXENDTC also will be the same thing, because we are measuring here in the minutes only, in the fraction of seconds only. So obviously the date will be the same, and the months will be, the time will be the same for EXENDTC. Hello?
Yeah.
It's confusing for you? Understand?
No, it's okay. I'm getting it. Yeah.
Okay. Even in case if you know, if you are not understanding, you can ask someone, because usually they give a more details information here. in the programs and the comments notes. So, and they will give the which variable you have to map for the EX entity and which variable you have to go to map with the EX SDTC. Okay. For example, here they're gonna keep directly directly they put the variable name. So DS DTN, something like that. So DT and DS DTM. Okay, so they put like that. So for that is much easier. You don't need to worry about the what is exactly talking about. So I'm just explaining you in the some kind of better understanding for you, something like that. So they put the dates and also here the same thing they put. Yes, so that you don't have any confusing. So you can get no, okay, we have to map with this one. Okay, so since we know this EX entities will be the same date, I'm gonna keep the same thing. Okay.
No,
So
I think my question here is
yes.
for ENDT, can you go to the log window, please?
Log window?
Yeah, I mean, can you open the table? So basically, for ENDT, yeah, I mean ENDTC, the DSDTM is like the period 2, right?
This one you're talking about.
No, because each subject has period 1, period 2, right? So
Yeah.
basically,
So this is one drug and this is one drug.
Okay.
This is reference drug and this is test drug.
Okay.
So you're taking only one drug for each period, and that too you're just taking the tablet right away, and there is no start date and there is no end date, right? So it's going to be the same day, everything. Okay.
Okay.
So we have completed this one, and we're going to create this study duration. Okay, these three variables. So initially we need to change because we need to do some calculation here for STDDY, ENDDY. We call as study day calculations. So for that reason, we need to convert this one into numeric. So the character format, you cannot do any kind of calculations, right? So you need to convert it in the numeric format first. So how do you convert? So for converting, you need only date part. Okay, we don't need any because this is asking for study day of start treatment and study of end treatment. So there is no time. It's just asking for day. So we need to change into the numeric format because we are converting into character format here, right? So we need to do in the numeric format. We need to create extra variables. So tn. So I put like n is a numeric. Okay, and also we need to change into the we need only the date format. So for that we need this kind of function date part. Okay, so input we're changing into numeric format, right? So this thing. Okay, and we need ISO 8601 DT. So DT means it is only related to the date value. So when you execute this one, you get only the date, not with the time. Okay, because we need to calculate the EX STDDY and EX ENDDY because for the duration purpose, we need to calculate these ones. For that, if you need to do some calculation, you need to do numeric format. Okay, this is common for most of the data sets for concomitant medication, adverse events, medical history. You need to calculate. So, okay, first of all, what is the duration?
Ali?
Yes.
Here in EX STDTN,
Yes.
when you put date part, right? Instead of date part, we can just put input and just DSDTM also, right?
Okay, you can check because I'm not sure exactly. Let me check for this one. So I put first initially with the date part. Okay, so if you remove the date part, what happened? You can see.
No, I don't want to put EXSTDTC instead of EXSTDTC. If I just put DSDTM, that should be enough, right? Because we are taking only the date part, right?
So you're talking about this one.
Yeah, instead of putting EX, I mean,
Yeah, you can do like that also. Yes, input of yeah, you can do
input
like
of
that
DS,
also.
input of DSDTN. That's it,
Yeah,
right?
it's gonna. I think DSDTN is DSDT, right? DSDT. Okay, this so we forgot to put the DSDTM in the character format here. I mean, in the numeric format. So DSDTM equal to of. So same thing like we did yesterday with right. So I forgot to bring it. So same thing we did with the DM for RF this part. Okay. Yeah, you can do like that also. It's not been an issue, but yeah, it's up to you. I can change it.
No, just asking. Just asking. That's it.
No, you can do many times in many ways. So I'm doing one way, you're doing other way, which is good. Okay, so because anyway is going to change to the it's just 601 DT format, right? So obviously it's going to be the same thing. XCNDTN equal to will be the same thing. Okay, so we're going to change both of them into from the date 9 format. Let me check first. Initially, we'll like check how it looks like this one.
Okay, I think.
Okay, so in the log window, oops, there is a missing. What is this one? Invalid argument. Okay, so the 99 and 50. So what is 99? So this one. And 115. Okay, so numeric values have been converted to character values at the place of given. Oops, sorry. Check this one next. Oh, you see there is a missing values here. Why is there is a missing values? And let me bring this one variable. You see here it is in the number format. That's why it's not picking even if you keep ISO 8601 DT. So that's the reason they put date part here. So the date part of this one, you take this one, and you put the format for ISO.
Normally, actually, we did not give the format there, right?
Where is the format?
Okay, we gave the format. When we give the format, like for DSDTN, when we gave format, it should not be in the number form, right? Can
So
you
the
go to the
DS,
table?
this is the one we are in
Yeah,
the
can you
base
go to
as.
the, can you go to the table, please? The EX2 table. Yeah, now
Yeah.
if you see DSDTN,
Yes.
basically it converted to numeric form, but the
Yes.
format is not applied, right?
But this one is giving in the number format. In usually in the SAS they have a cutoff date, right? The cutoff date for 1960, and from that onwards it calculates in the numbers. Maybe you know it in basics, right?
Yeah.
So when you convert in the some kind of format, it gives like this because you didn't apply the format here after. Like for example, if you apply format DS DTN date 9. Okay, now you check that one is changed to the date 9 format. Oh, sorry, I have to close it. Now you have a date 9 format.
Yeah.
Because you did not mention the format there. So that's the reason we need to take it from this part, only the date part.
Okay.
And it's good if you think like this, is a good way to you can check every time where exactly is going wrong. So I put it back this part off. Now you check the difference. I'll show you one second. So I remove this part. Okay, so now you got in the number format. So now you need to apply for the format what we needed. Okay. So initially you got missing values here. Right now you put date part. That's why you pick up only the date part. When you apply the format, EX SDTM, so date 9. Okay, so you put the same thing with EX ENDT. Now you run. Okay. So now you got your in the date 9 format. So this information we required for the calculation. Okay. Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
So do we have time for the second link, or it's almost
Yeah,
45? Okay, so we got our EX ENDT and EX STDT. So we need the reference time. Okay, so the duration, what I'm talking about, like basically you're going to calculate how much time. Just let me know before it log off, because otherwise I'm continuously.
Probably in another 30 seconds.
Okay, I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
Okay, so this one is 6 minutes.